Good evening. You're watching the News at 6 with me, Shan Russell. The News at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and we'll be filling in on them over the next half hour. But first, the headlines that we're tracking right now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says his vision for India is rapid transformation and not gradual evolution. Underscores urgent need to change laws, speed up processes and adopt technology. Bombay High Court permits entry of women into Haji Ali Dargah, says Maharashtra government must ensure safety of women who wish to enter the shrine. More leaked documents on the Scorpion submarine surface. New papers provide extensive details about a wide range of technical specifications. And the Supreme Court issues notice to Union Government on Muslim women's petition challenging the concept of triple talaq. Petition argues that the Sharia Act is unconstitutional. Our top story this evening, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today underscored the need to bring about a rapid transformation of the country in order to march it into the 21st century. Inaugurating the first Transforming India lecture of the Niti Aayog in New Delhi, Modi sought faster processes while also adopting technology.
If India is to meet the challenge of change, mere incremental progress is not enough. A metamorphosis is needed. That is why my vision for India is rapid transformation, not gradual evolution.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi outlining his vision for the nation at the first Transforming India lecture organized by the Niti Aayog on Friday. Underscoring the need to rapidly transform India, the Prime Minister said there was an urgent need to change laws and eliminate unnecessary procedures.
A transformation of governance cannot happen without a transformation in mindset. A transformation in mindset cannot happen without transformative ideas. We cannot march through the 21st century with the administrative system of the 19th century.
Emphasizing the need for both internal and external change, the Prime Minister sought ideas from eminent people abroad to transform the country.
What we need is a collective opening of our minds to let in new global perspectives. To do this, we have to absorb new ideas collectively rather than individually.
Visiting Deputy Prime Minister of Singapore, Tharman Shanmugaratnam, was also present at the event. He welcomed the government's reforms agenda, even as he echoed Prime Minister Modi's views on the need to step up the pace of change.
India's potential is still unfulfilled. India needs to grow by 8 to 10% over the next 20 years. If it is to create jobs for a youthful population, if it is to reduce the tremendous underemployment of its population, and if it is to achieve inclusive growth, including a significant shift of people from the lower income group to the middle income group.
All cabinet ministers and chief ministers of several states also took part in the event, the purpose of which was to open up the minds of government officers and ministers to the changes taking place across the globe. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the Bombay High Court has lifted the ban on women entering the sanctum sanctorum of the Haji Ali Dargah. However, activists will have to wait for 6 more weeks as the court has given time to the trusts and clerics to file an appeal in the Supreme Court opposing the verdict.
On Friday, the Bombay High Court passed a progressive verdict as far as the Haji Ali Shrine is concerned. It directed that women must be allowed entry into the sanctum sanctorum of the Haji Ali Shrine.
The High Court has taken a view that the ban on the entry is unconstitutional. Now, apart from that, after the pronouncement of the judgment, the trust said we wish to go to the Supreme Court and we want 8 weeks stay. High Court felt, and rightly so, that this is an important constitutional issue, and therefore they have granted 6 weeks stay on the operation of the order, which means that though the High Court has held that women can go into the sanctum sanctorum, that won't happen for 6 weeks, and now the entire battle will shift to the Supreme Court.
Elated with the High Court order, Bhumata Brigade founder Trupti Desai called the verdict a victory of women's rights. Hailing the order that reopens the door for women to worship inside Haji Ali, activists now vow to take the initiative forward.
मुंबई हाई कोर्ट ने कहा है कि जो हाजी अली का मुद्दा है, जहां औरतों ने अपने प्रवेश की डिमांड की है, वो जायज है। उन्होंने आर्टिकल्स कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रिंसिपल्स की बात की है कि जो ट्रस्टी थे उन्होंने भारत के संविधान के कुछ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रिंसिपल्स को वायलेट किया था, और वो प्रिंसिपल्स के डिफेंस में आज हाई कोर्ट ने औरतों के अधिकार में फैसला दिया है।
हम स्वागत करते हैं वो महिलाओं के हक और अधिकार की जो है वो जीत हुई है। बहुत ऐतिहासिक निर्णय ये हुआ है, और जो विरोधक है वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जा सकते हैं या विरोध कर सकते हैं। डेमोक्रेसी में सबको अधिकार है, लेकिन ये महिलाओं के बाजू से निर्णय आया है और हमें लगता है इसका स्वागत करना चाहिए।
The Haji Ali Trust has got a 6-week stay from the High Court to appeal to the Supreme Court. Till then, women will not be allowed entry. However, clerics and religious scholars are outraged at the court order.
The reasoning of the order, under what context the order is. Shortly, our Board of Trustees will sit over it along with the religious scholars also, because since it is a religious trust and we at Hajili are one of the responsible and prestigious trusts, we have to consider the constitution, have to consider the constitution, the emotion of people, and also the Shariat law. Once we decide between ourselves, and definitely the right of going to the Supreme Court is open to us, we may exercise the right after getting the study and the reasoning of the court what has been pronounced today.
मजहबी मामले में कोर्ट को बीच में नहीं आना चाहिए था, और जब कोर्ट ने ऐसा फैसला दे दिया है, कोई बात नहीं है, इससे ऊंची जो कोर्ट है सुप्रीम कोर्ट हम जाएंगे। लेकिन हमें ऐसा पूरा यकीन है कि दरगाह के अंदर जहां महिलाओं का जाना मना है, इस्लाम के अंदर मना है, उनको ऐसी इजाजत नहीं देना चाहिए थी। लेकिन मुझे बड़ा अफसोस है कि हिंदुस्तान की कोर्ट में ये कैसे ऐसे अभी फैसले आने लगे हैं, क्योंकि ये सब धार्मिक मामले हैं, इन फैसलों को नहीं देना चाहिए।
The ban was imposed in 2012 by the Haji Ali Dargah Trust, citing religious traditions. The PIL was filed by women activists and the NGO Bharatiya Muslim Mahila Andolan. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Australian newspaper The Australian on Friday uploaded a fresh tranche of leaked documents detailing the Scorpion submarine's underwater warfare system. The new set of documents provides extensive details about the submarines, including a wide range of technical specifications. The new set of documents gives details about the sonar system of the submarines, which is used to gather intelligence underwater. The documents give a wide range of technical specifications of the sonars and at what degree and frequency it will function. The papers detail the operating instruction manual, which talks about how to select a target for weapon firing and weapon configuration selection. The Indian Navy has not yet officially reacted to the release of the new documents. Sources maintain that it does not compromise national security, though.
That there are various drivers or triggers for a document of this nature to be stolen. It could be commercial espionage, it could be corporate rivalry, or it could have a security dimension that relates to India's potential adversaries. So I think the need for a speedy investigation by the French agencies and appropriate cooperation with India, and in the event there is a Southeast Asian nation involved, I think they should also be part of the stakeholders in getting to the bottom of this issue.
The Supreme Court has issued notice to the Union government on the plea of a Muslim woman challenging the constitutional validity of triple talaq to end a marriage. The apex court has tagged this plea with a pending matter in the court. The petitioner, Ishra Jahan, has argued that Section 2 of the Shariat Act was unconstitutional as it violates fundamental rights guaranteed under Articles 14, 15, 21 and 25 of the Constitution. In her petition, Jahan has asked whether an arbitrary and unilateral divorce through triple talaq can deprive the wife of her rights in her matrimonial home, also her right to have custody of her children. Notices in this regard have already been issued to the All India Muslim Personal Law Board and others. This is not the first time that the demand to abolish triple talaq has arisen. All India Muslim Women Personal Law Board President Shaista Ambar has already demanded abolishing the system.
See, this triple talaq has been a contentious issue, and this had come to the highest court even earlier. And this is an issue which is more religious, social and human rather than legal. And I think this is a very significant and very sensitive matter which cannot be simply decided by the courts. This would be requiring all stakeholders, particularly the entire Muslim community and Muslim women, to be taken into confidence.
महिला के हकों के लिए मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ में जो लोग संशोधन की मांग कर रहे हैं, मेरा उनसे निवेदन है कि ये आवाज मुस्लिम समाज की वजह से उठे, तो मैं भी इसका स्वागत करूंगा.
The fate of Punjab's Aam Aadmi Party convener Sucha Singh Chotepur will be decided in the party's Political Affairs Committee meet today. The party is likely to meet at Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence to take a final call on Chotepur. The Punjab leader is in the spotlight for his alleged involvement in a cash for ticket scandal.
With barely 6 months to go for assembly elections in Punjab, the Aam Aadmi Party finds itself in a big controversy in the country. Sucha Singh Chotepur, convener of the party in Punjab, has been caught allegedly taking money in a sting operation. Chotepur is facing a possible ouster from the party because of the video that purportedly shows him accepting money. The sting was apparently made by one of the party members. However, Chotepur has alleged that people in the party have conspired against him.
ਹੁਣ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫਸਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਿਰੋਧੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਡਿਫੈਂਡ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ. ਇਹ ਸਿਆਸਤ ਬਦਲ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੜੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਾਜ਼ਿਸ਼ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਿੱਤਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਰਚੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮਜਬੂਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ.
Earlier, Aam Aadmi Party national convener and the party's Punjab affairs in charge, Arvind Kejriwal, had apparently refused to meet Chotepur. He had instead asked him to file his clarification before the party's Punjab State Committee.
ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੈਸਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਖਾਤਰ ਵਰਤਿਆ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਟਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਠੱਗੀ ਮਾਰੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਲਾਲਚ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਸੀਬੀਆਈ ਕੋਈ ਇਨਕੁਆਇਰੀ ਕਰਾਈ ਜਾਏ. ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਲਾਈਫ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਪੈਸਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲ ਨਿਕਲੇਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਟੰਗ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਏ. ਮੈਂ ਧਿਆਨਦਾਰੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ 40 ਸਾਲ ਇਮਾਨਦਾਰੀ ਨਾਲ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ.
Chotepur is a senior leader of the party in Punjab. He is considered to be a pioneer in creating a base for the Arvind Kejriwal-led party in the state. He also had a long stint with the Congress, Akali Dal and the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party is expected to pose a tough challenge to the Akali Dal, BJP combined and the Congress in the forthcoming assembly polls next year. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Floods triggered by heavy rains continue to cripple normal life in parts of northern India. The heavy monsoon rains have caused rivers, including the Ganga and its tributaries, to burst, rendering thousands homeless. Locals accuse the government of not providing any help.
Authorities are struggling to evacuate thousands of stranded people from villages in West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan and Uttarakhand after floods in these states intensified. More than 300 people have been killed and thousands driven from their homes. The heavy monsoon rains have caused rivers to burst their banks, forcing over 2 lakh people into relief camps.
সেখানে ব্লক প্রশাসনের লোকেরা গেছে, পরিস্থিতির নজর রাখা হয়েছে এবং আমাদের যা রিলিফের যা ত্রাণ বিলির যে নিয়মকানুন আছে টিম করে ইনকোয়ারি করা এবং তাদেরকে
Locals allege that they have received no help from the administration.
এখন আমরা কি রকম থাকছি এখন তো মাঠে যাচ্ছি এখন খাওয়া পাচ্ছি না কিছু পাচ্ছি না আমাদের খুবই দুঃখ এখানে বলছে যে চর আছে আমরা বাঁধতে পারবো না
Food and relief material was distributed among flood victims in Allahabad after an aerial survey was conducted. Several villages were found to be inundated with floodwaters. More than 2 million people have been affected in the recent floods, with at least 1 lakh people taking refuge in government relief camps. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some more national news updates now nationwide. Deputy Prime Minister of Singapore, Tharnam Shanmugaratnam, called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi for bilateral talks today. During the meeting, he briefed Modi on the status of various bilateral cooperation initiatives, especially in the areas of skill development and smart cities. The Prime Minister also conveyed his heartfelt condolences to the people of Singapore on the sad demise of former President S.R. Nathan. President Pranab Mukherjee will leave for a 3-day tour to Bihar and Karnataka. He will address the first convocation of the Nalanda University and lay the foundation stone of its campus at Rajya tomorrow. He will also attend functions in Bangalore on the same day. On Sunday, he will address the 24th annual convocation of the National Law School in the city. A 65-year-old woman became the 23rd person to die of dengue in West Bengal. 510 new cases of dengue have been reported so far in the state in the last 24 hours. Over 5,500 cases have been reported in the state this year. Most of the cases were reported from districts like Howrah, Hooghly, North 24 Parganas and South 24 Parganas. AIADMK MP Sashikala Pushpa has been given protection from arrest for 6 more weeks. A Supreme Court bench also questioned the state's eagerness to have her arrested on charges of allegedly ill-treating and sexually abusing 2 domestic aides. Sashikala moved the Supreme Court against the summons issued to her by the Madurai bench at the Madras High Court to appear on the 29th of August. Time for us to take a short break. Lots more on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Blindness can come in a variety of ways. 3.5 to 3.8 crore people in India are 360 blind. 3 million to 3.5 million Indians can be cured in 10 minutes if they are only refractive index blindness.
Watch Eureka with Dr. D. Balasubramanian, renowned ocular biochemist, only on Rajya Sabha TV. The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Now, the 8th SAARC Finance Ministers meeting got underway in Islamabad today. Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif inaugurated the event and expressed his commitment to jointly work with all SAARC member states. He also exuded confidence that deliberations of finance ministers will complement the agenda of the 19th SAARC summit that Pakistan will host on the 9th and 10th of November. Many member countries, including India, skipped ministerial-level participation at the ongoing SAARC finance ministers meet. Arun Jaitley was represented by Economic Affairs Secretary Shaktikanta Das. A fresh round of talks on the Syrian civil war are underway in Geneva between the US and Russia. The US Secretary of State John Kerry and his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov met to discuss a peaceful solution for the war-torn nation. Meanwhile, the United Nations has urged the warring sides to respect a 48-hour ceasefire in Aleppo to allow humanitarian aid into the city.
After several failed negotiations, the top diplomats of Russia and the United States met once again to discuss the Syrian civil war. US Secretary of State John Kerry and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met in Geneva with hopes of resuming peace talks and chalking out a deal which will lead to cessation of hostilities across Syria and relaunch talks on a political transition in the country.
I don't want to spoil the atmosphere for the negotiations.
Meanwhile, a deal was reached between the Syrian rebels and the army to allow rebel fighters and civilians to leave the town of Daraya. 8 convoys entered the besieged city on Friday as hundreds of rebel fighters laid down their arms after ceding control to government forces. The United Nations has urged weekly 48-hour pause in fighting in Aleppo to allow aid to reach the people. The UN said that a pause in fighting was better than nothing, but warned that it's not enough. Russia has agreed to the ceasefire, but security guarantees are awaited from other parties on the ground.
A pause is better than nothing, but we need more than a pause in Syria. The plight of the civilians, I don't need to express it even more, because what more can we say about the plight of the people in Syria other than the level of despair has reached unprecedented levels, perhaps anywhere in the world. And we need to really have not a pause, but peace. This is different. This is a longer term prospect, or at least a ceasefire or cessation of hostilities that allows us to reach hundreds of thousands of people that we haven't been able to reach for so long.
Successive rounds of international negotiations have failed to end a conflict that has killed more than 290,000 people and forced millions from their homes. Moscow and Washington support opposite sides in the war that erupted in 2011 after President Bashar al-Assad unleashed a brutal crackdown against a pro-democracy revolt. The Russian Air Force has been carrying out airstrikes in Syria since September last year, claiming it only targets the extremists. However, the West and the Syrian opposition have accused it of hitting civilian targets in rebel-held areas. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
A magnitude 4.7 earthquake struck Italy on Friday, even as hopes of finding more survivors from Wednesday's quake faded. A state of emergency has been declared in the regions worst hit in Wednesday's earthquake. Prime Minister Matteo Renzi has pledged €50 million in funds for rebuilding. Meanwhile, the toll from the quake has risen to 268, with another 400 injured. Teams are continuing to search the rubble of toppled buildings, even though hopes of finding anyone alive seem bleak. The worst affected towns are Amatrice, Arquata, Accumoli and Pescara del Tronto are usually sparsely populated, but during summers are swelled by visiting tourists. This makes estimates for the precise number of missing quite difficult. Some more international news now in Global Buzz. At least 8 people were killed and dozens injured in a car bomb blast at police headquarters in Turkey's largely Kurdish southeast. There is no immediate claim of responsibility. It's not clear if the casualties are civilian or police officers. The attack comes 2 days after Turkey launched an incursion against the Islamic State and Kurdish militia fighters in Syria. At his first campaign rally for the 2017 presidential election, former French President Nicolas Sarkozy said he would never tolerate contempt to the French people who are worried about their safety and defending their values. The crowd of 2,000 cheered as he said that France's identity was under threat. US President Barack Obama will dramatically expand the Hawaii Marine National Monument today. The action will ban commercial fishing from more than 1.5 million square kilometers of the Pacific Ocean. Obama will visit the area on the 1st of September to draw attention to the threat that climate change poses to oceans. A beach restaurant in Somalia's capital Mogadishu was attacked by militants today. The gunmen raided the building after setting off a car bomb. It's still not clear as to how many casualties there might be. Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack. Time now for all the action from the world of sports and Sports Beat. Ace shuttler Saina Nehwal dropped 4 points to be 9th, while compatriot PV Sindhu remained in the 10th spot in the latest Badminton World Federation rankings. In the men's singles, shuttler Kidambi Srikanth jumped a place to be at the 10th position. Serena Williams and Novak Djokovic were named top-seeded players at the US Open. Six-time US Open champion Serena will be the top seed in the women's draw, while world number 1 and defending champion Djokovic and Andy Murray are the top 2 seeds in the men's category. Neither Williams nor Djokovic has played a match since their early exits at the Rio Olympics. Cristiano Ronaldo was named UEFA's best player in Europe for the second time after winning the Champions League in Euro 2016 last season. The Real Madrid forward beat teammate Gareth Bale and Atletico Madrid striker Antoine Griezmann in the voting. Ronaldo scored the winning penalty for Real in the Champions League final and captained Portugal to Euro 2016 glory in July. Olympic sprint queen Elaine Thompson continued her dominance on the racetrack by winning the 100 meters at a Diamond League meet in Lausanne. The 24-year-old Jamaican won the 100 and 200 meters at Rio Olympics, clocked a time of 10.78 seconds, ahead of second-place American Jenna Pardini. In the men's 110 hurdles, Olympic champion Jamaican Omar McLeod was pipped by Spain's Orlando Ortega. Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton will start the Belgian Grand Prix from the back of the grid. Hamilton, who holds a 19-point lead in the standings over teammate Nico Rosberg, was handed a hefty penalty for exceeding his allowed allocation of engine components. That's all from us. Goodbye.